Good morning. My name is Laya Prickett Garcia. I am 33 years old, and this is my journey of healing so far. Um, I've been healing. I've been on the route of healing and growing and getting out of my old habits and these bad molds I was in of, putting allowing myself, and I know that's a little weird to kind of say, but putting myself and allowing myself to be around people who were just unhealthy for me. And the past 4 months have been about me breaking out of those unhealthy boundaries and creating healthier boundaries and finding healthier boundaries with men and finding healthier boundaries with women. And it's been a difficult ride. Before the 4 months, I have major depression and schizoaffective disorder. I was diagnosed in 2019 when I was 29 years old. Um, I do take three different medications to keep my mind stable. My body stopped creating these chemicals and made me really paranoid, made me hear voices, made me think I was going to be murdered, I was going to be raped, and it wasn't pleasant. And I was in psychosis for a year. And it was bad. I was aggressive to my family because I thought they were going to murder me. I thought they were going to torture me in different ways, and I just didn't trust anyone. And when I did finally start to trust someone, the voices said that they were going to do something really horrible to me. And it wasn't a fun ride. For people who are schizoaffective, I know it's something you might not want to do because there is this negative stigma about taking medication. But I would highly suggest trying medication to stabilize your mind because um, I tried the holistic route. I tried to just fight it because some people just think it's in the mind, and it's not. It's your body stopping creating chemicals. It's just like trying to tell a cancer patient to just fight cancer without using radiation or chemotherapy, and you're going to be fine. I mean, we already have evidence of that with like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs tried to fight a very curable cancer, and he wasn't able to. He ended up slowly passing away because he didn't go the radiation or chemotherapy route. He went the holistic route. And there's nothing wrong with um, going the holistic route if you want to go that route. But for me and this channel, I'm always going to say medication is going to be something you should definitely think about if the holistic route isn't working for you anymore. Um, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the personality of you. It's just the body, the physical body. The body stops creating these chemicals. It's very much the same. What do you call it? I'm trying to think of something to kind of help people connect with realizing the body just stopped making chemicals and accepting the fact that their personality is being shadowed by the effects of the mental disorder. Um, and I really hope, as you're watching these videos and learn from my journey of healing, if you can, or if you see any of that, that medication isn't the wrong route sometimes. So yeah, I take medication. I take three. I take anti-anxiety, antidepressant, and antipsychotic. Um, I take those every day. Sorry, I was trying to look for my medication to show you guys, but it's not. Oh, it's right here. But yeah, I take them every day. I take my anti-anxiety twice, my antipsychotic once, and my antidepressant once a day. And it's been working for me. I've been jogging, I've been going out, I've been able to heal my body mentally and emotionally now at the age of 33, I'm able to finally be me. The medication is allowing me to be me. And I really hope that people realize medication isn't bad. It's just, um, it's just adding the chemicals that are already missing within the body. So, allow yourself and realize, the pharmaceuticals, the researchers behind pharmaceuticals aren't there to hurt you. They're there to help you. And the medications are there to help the voices go away, to help the paranoia, to help the the moods that you go in and out of, to make you feel like a healthier person. And um it's not, what do you call it? It's not oh, I kind of forgot my train of thought, but it's not unhealthy for your body. The body needs to have those chemicals be replaced through medication. And I haven't found anything plant wise that has helped with, these medications. Um, and it does make me sad in a way because I wish there was. I'm a huge environmentalist. I believe in the holistic route to, a certain extent. I do believe that science um, does, outweigh the holistic route in some ways. Um, but yeah, like if you're getting face skincare, there we go, skincare. Some people get skincare, and that wouldn't be holistic. The majority of the skincares are chemical based, unless you get the clean versions like Drunken Elephant or Glow Recipe. I use Glow Recipe. I don't know if it works for me still, but I started my skincare routine a couple days ago. I'm taking kind of like baby steps. First was my mental route, my emotional route, and now I'm working on my physical route. Um, but yeah, those wouldn't really be holistic unless you pay for the really expensive clean versions of them, the plant-based versions of them. And it's kind of like that too. You're using this, it would be like, it'd be an herbal medication, but it would be a medication for your face because it's skincare. You're putting on these chemicals to make sure you don't age, to make sure you're protected by the sun, to, stop to not have like red spots or dark spots. And the same thing is it's for makeup. Makeup also has some, nowadays, like some vitamins or some type of chemical to make you look younger. Um, so, makeup really wouldn't be the holistic route unless you went more of the more eco-friendly route. That would be, in my opinion, more holistic because there are plant-based make lipsticks, at least that I know of, that are out there, and those are expensive in themselves. So if you're going the holistic route, think of it that way. Like medication is there to help you. Um, if you use makeup, if you use skincare, medication is also there to help you with stabilizing. And in that case, it would be aging, or it would just to have like good glossy skin, or no wrinkles or anything like that. But medication would be the same because you're putting these chemicals on your face because they aren't producing as much or they aren't producing at all, so you could have a glow to yourself. I don't use makeup. If you can tell, my everything's natural that you see. My lighting is quite a bit off, so my skin isn't like this. I have big pores and stuff, so yeah, my skin isn't perfect. um, yeah, so, take that into consideration. That's something, I guess, I could try and make a not correlation, but like to compare how medication is good for you. Um but yeah, try and try medication. It's not there to kill you. It's there to help you. I know people who have been schizophrenic since they were in their early 20s, and they are 59 now, or they're in their 60s, and they're still, healthy human beings. And they've been taking medication since in their 20s to have a healthy mind. Um, so yeah, medication isn't going to de-age you, but if you don't allow your body to be unstressed by the lack of chemicals that are being made um, in your body, uh, you're stressing your body out more physically. I don't know if that's going to keep you from aging, but it definitely is putting more stress on your body um, than a healthier human being. Um, but so far, for me, for my healing journey so far, medication has been on point. Um, but yeah, I hear voices a little sometimes. If I have less than 3 hours of sleep, I hear voices. When I started jogging because I was stressing my body out, I was hearing voices for a bit, and the voices have been positive recently. They haven't been negative. They've been positive. They've mostly been having me be introspective about my morals and principles, and how religion aligns with my morals and principles, because I'm going back to Catholicism, and that's part of my journey too so far. And what plays a part of it with what the church aligns with, and how I add that to my daily routine, and in my life, because um I think that the Bible, I think all religions are important. I think all religions are important in our growth. And even the Pope and the church have agreed um that coexisting with other religions is something that we should do, for the common good. So I'm really happy that Pope Leo sees it that way. He's talked to religious leaders. He's talked to um, Buddhist religious leaders. He's talked to Islamic religious leaders. He's talked to those type of religious leaders that I know of so far that Pope Leo has done. And I'm really happy that the church really aligns with my viewpoints on that. I think it would have been something really hard for me to kind of go from being a theist, because I always believed in a higher power, to a Catholic, because of those viewpoints. And he even says to be compassionate, and to live as one, because even in the Bible, I don't know the scripture for it. I really should find it. They say that they say alien. They say that if aliens, do arrive in your community, to treat them as your own community. And I firmly believe in that. So I'm really happy that, you know, this is where the church aligns and the religion. And I don't know about other religions, but I have learned from atheists, agnostics, and I've learned from shamans. And so far in the past 4 months that I've been on this healing journey, those who I have learned from, and I've learned from Catholics, I've learned from Christians, I've learned from a Pentecostal Christian, though hers was more negative. That was one of the negative, I guess, conversations I had that I ended up learning from. She is a caregiver, and she caregives for this female who is schizophrenic. She's one of the females I was talking about that has been schizophrenic since 20 and has been taking antipsychotics all the way up until her age, which is 59. And I was so sad when I was having this conversation with her, because she looked so poorly about her mother, and she just hated her mother, and just was so disgusted about her mother, because her mother, sorry, I really need a burp. Her mother had kind of a mental illness. So she wasn't the best mother. She was abusive. That, from what she told me, she was abusive mentally, emotionally, and physically. And she didn't get along with her mother at all. And on her mother's deathbed, the mother asked if she could forgive her. And she said yes, but have you ever talked to someone who said yes and or who says their words say one thing and their body language says another? And that's the conversation I was having with her. Do I think, and I want to emphasize, do I think all Pentecostal women or men of the church are like this? No. I just think it was just the specific person that was like this. And she made me realize, because I'm going on this journey of realizing my mother was never really there for me. Um, oh, I lied. She was there for me when I was in kindergarten, and my dad was severely abusive. He was a drunk. I would go to bed without dinner sometimes because I did something so minuscule and that really frustrated him, and I wouldn't eat. He would, hit me on like the butt, but he would hit me so hard I would have welts. And I was kind of afraid of my dad when I was younger because he would be extremely violent, especially when he was drunk. There was this time we were driving and he got into an argument with my mom, and my mom took me out of the car. I was barefoot and it was in the middle of nowhere. So we had to walk to this house in the country in the fog in the morning where it's cold, and I have no shoes, so my feet are hurting. And eventually we got to a house, and we called my grandma, who ended up picking us up. And my dad eventually kind of like drove back, but my mom didn't want to get in the car with him. Um, so my dad was, severely abusive in from kindergarten to kind of first grade, and then in second grade he had multiple DUIs, so he went to prison, and he didn't get back into my life until fifth grade. But he ended up changing his life for the better. He stopped drinking. He found God again. And he ended up being there for us more. He still had kind of like anger issues, but other than that, like, he wasn't abusive anymore. He was more helpful. We did more fun stuff. We went to church. We would go to the movies. We were more of a family that a poor family could be of. And it was funny because even though my mom protected me when I was younger, when we were with my dad, she wasn't there for me afterwards. When my dad was gone in prison, she was kind of like out with her friends more. She was, doing meth, and she wasn't really around. So my mom wasn't really a good mother figure because she was still drinking, and she was still on drugs. And I know she did meth because one time in second grade I was called to the office, and I was walking to the office and I saw my mom, and she just came up to me and just like put her hand in my pocket, and I was like, "What the heck is happening?" Because I was just in second grade, and she pulled out a pipe, and it was a meth pipe. And at the time, I didn't know it was a meth pipe. I didn't know what meth was, but there was a meth pipe in my jean pocket. Why? I don't know. But she got it, and she was angry with me, and then she left. And I was like, okay. And then I went back to class because I didn't know what to do. I couldn't stay in the hallway, so I went back to class. Um, and yeah, I realized years later it was a meth pipe. And it really stuck to me because she was so aggressive about everything that day. Um, but yeah, so she was on meth. She was drinking quite a bit. She was more of a friend than a mother. And I was really sad, and I was really angry and hurt. And I was starting to, um, after, I've been healing, well, currently, I am on good terms with my mother, but because of the conversation I had with a Pentecostal woman. But before that, I had another conversation with a staff member at the organization I go to that helps out people with mental disorders. And I was asking her how I should handle things with my mother because she grew up kind of independent and had to figure things out on her own as a child. And she said you have to look at if she's unwell. And at the end of the conversation, she basically told me, it sounds like your mother's unwell. You need to understand that she's not going to be there for you um, the way you would want her to because she is unwell. And I was really sad, but she tied some knots in and she tied some loose ends and made me realize I really need to just let things with my mother play out because I have been trying to help her. I told her to go to therapy. I told her to see a psychiatrist because she has a lot of paranoid thoughts. And I told her to I keep pushing her to go to these organizations to and these people to help her for the better, but she thinks they're just gonna call her crazy. So she has this really negative she sees, these mental health uh, not therapies, these mental health, what would they be called? She sees therapy and psychiatry basically as something that's going to, as a huge stigma, a negative stigma. And it really saddens me because I'm like, well, what about me? I have major depression and schizoaffective disorder. So do you think I'm just crazy? Um, so it hurts. But I realized after talking to the Pentecostal woman because I was going down a path of spite and hate with my mom, and this is 21 minutes, so hopefully I finish this in 25. Um, Going down a path of hate and resentment and spite with my mom um, because she was never there for me, because I had to figure out how to be a woman. I had to see, I had to look for, motherhood and womanhood and being feminine throughout from other females, and luckily I had those in high school, and they taught me good morals and good principles. And I never really had a female role model who stuck around to continue to tell me about being a woman. Um, and I've always had just temporary. Um, and so I was resenting my mom for not being up to par to being more than a friend, for actually being a mother and an adult, and was getting really tired of being the adult for her when I'm 33 and she's 55 and I have to guide her to a healthier lifestyle. So I was really resenting and hating her. And after talking to this Pentecostal woman and having this, we were having a polite argument, I guess you could say. I was trying to figure out how to word things to not offend her because I don't try to offend people. For one, I think offending others is detrimental to growing and healing and breaking out of trauma molds and breaking out of bad habits. So I don't like offending people. So I try and word everything in a way of healing. And I realized as we were, arguing, well, she was kind of arguing with me, and I was just like, "What is happening? Like, how can you have so much hatred for your mother?" Because it got to the point where she thinks anybody with a mental illness should get a hysterectomy. Any woman, because they're going to be unable to take care of their child. So they should just get a hysterectomy so they don't have children. And it really hit me because I was like, "Are you pro-life?" And she said, "Yeah, she's pro-life. She doesn't believe in abortion." And I was trying to say it doesn't sound like you're pro-life, because pro-life, at least in the Catholic Church, has always been, the basic human rights, even at the point of conception, and even um, with an adult, it's still pro-life. They have the right to procreate. They have the right to have children. You may not like, how everything is going, um, and how they're teaching it, and where they're teaching as mothers and fathers, but people have the right to procreate, and it sounded like eugenics what she was trying to tell me. And I was confronting her about this. I would say I was confronting, and she was more arguing. And so I call it a polite argument. So she eventually, I guess, just got tired of the conversation and was like, "No, I never said that." And I was like, "Okay." Um, so it really was concerning because she's a caregiver, and I just was really hurt. But I learned from her um, to let go more trauma and more stress for my mom because I didn't want to be that way. And I saw myself going down that road of being spiteful and hateful. And I didn't want to be in her mindset of how I would see my own mother because, you know, I just felt so sorry for her. And it was really hurting me. And I felt so bad for her mother on her deathbed because I don't think she ever did forgive her. And as much as it hurts that my mother was never really there for me. She is something that she is a person who I have to heal from and I want to heal from. And I'm hoping I heal from properly because if I don't heal from the motherhood I grew up with and saw, how do I expect myself to be a good mother? And I have to accept that my mother is unwell and my mother isn't going to be there for me like I would like her to. But while she's here physically on this world, I think that I forgive her for everything that she's done and wasn't there for. I forgive her for where she's going. And I hope that she finds the greater light to healing her traumas and her insecurities and just everything that she really worries about to be a better person. Um, and with that being said, I am going to end this video because it's past 20 minutes. But I hope this has helped you find your own pathway to figuring out how to heal from your parents in your family. Because once I applied that with my mom, I applied it to the rest of my family because I grew up in a very poor family, a very dysfunctional family. So it really helped me move forward. With that being said, have a good day, good rest of the week, and bye.